The Boy Who Was Followed Home by Margret Mahy. The Boy Who Was Followed Home by Margret Mahy. The Boy Who Was Followed Home by Margret Mahy. Hey, look, there's a hippo. One day, a small, quite ordinary boy called Robert was coming home from school. He looked over his shoulder, and then there was a hippopotamus following him. Robert was surprised and pleased. Pleased because he had always liked hippopotami, and surprised because nothing like this has ever happened to him before. When he got home, the hippopotamus followed him up the steps and tried to come into the door. Robert thought his mother would not like this, so he shooed it away. It went and lay down in the goldfish pool on the lawn. What on earth is that in the goldfish pool? Asked Robert's father. It is a hippopotamus, father, said Robert. Really, people should keep their hippos chained up and not allow them to go climbing into other people's goldfish pools, said the father. The next day, the hippopotamus followed Robert to school. Robert was working and playing all day and did not think of the hippopotamus until he went home in the afternoon. There was a rustling noise behind him. When he turned around, there were 4 hippos following him. Robert was even more pleased and more surprised than he had been the day before. He was delighted to think that the sort of boy hippopotami would follow. When he got home, the hippopotami went and sat in the goldfish pool. It was quite a big pool, but with 4 hippos it seemed quite small. There are 4 hippopotami in our goldfish pool this evening. That seems like quite a few, said Robert's mother. The next day, 4 hippos quietly followed Robert to school, but that afternoon, when he walked home, 9 hippopotami followed him and got into the goldfish pool. Oh boy, that's a lot of hippos. Things went on like this for several days. Robert's parents, who were very polite, tried to ignore the growing numbers of hippopotami crowding into the goldfish pool, but when there were 27 hippos jostling each other all over the lawn, Robert's father gave them a gloomy look and said, "I wonder where they came from." "They followed me home from school. They like me," Robert said. "There seems to be only one solution for it. We'll have to get a witch to put a spell on you to make you unattractive to the hippos." Robert was sorry, because as you know he liked hippos, but he had to admit that 27 were too many for the lawn. The father looked up witches in the telephone book and selected Mrs. Kathy Squinch, who had advertised children as her speciality. He made an appointment, and the following midnight sharp, on the broomstick hour, Mrs. Squinch appeared down the chimney. "Hippo trouble, I see. A simple pill will solve all the difficulties," she said, having counted 43 hippos on the lawn that evening. "Give it to us quickly," said the father, anxious to get rid of Mrs. Kathy Squinch, who was not respectable looking. "There is one disadvantage, perhaps. The pill does not cure people of hippos, but," began Mrs. Squinch. "No buts, just give us the pill," the father said grandly, so Mrs. Squinch passed the pill to Robert, who swallowed it down. "The pill is guaranteed, but perhaps I should warn you," said Mrs. Squinch. "Enough," said the father, and shooed Mrs. Squinch up the chimney. Sure enough, the next morning the pill worked wonderfully. Although Robert seemed no different, He had sooner stepped outside and more than 43 hippos slunk away from him, giving reproachable looks over their shoulders. Within minutes, the lawn and even the streets were empty of hippopotami. Robert couldn't help but feel a bit sorry, for he was a boy who liked hippos, but off he went to school happily enough. He played and worked all day, and at last it was time to go home. As he walked along, he turned around half expecting to see the hippos, but there wasn't a hippo in sight. Oh, look, and now giraffes are following him home. Robert was very pleased. Oh, look, there's 4 giraffes. The end.